if she gets a CDA. I think not. We have to have, it has to be an early childhood education. And the CDA wouldn't matter for a lead. We use the CDA for an auxiliary teacher. But we recommend that they have a early childhood education degree.
How about certification?
Oh, a certification. If she's in public school, sometimes does it, but they take the practices that will certify them in early childhood. So with the requirement, we do expect for them to have an early childhood degree.
So if she took the practice, then and had that early childhood
Had P3, if it was P3.
P3 certification.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because how many hours are in CDA? Is it 18? Because it's,
120.
yeah, okay. We may need to look at that. Okay.
So, yeah, is that the only requirement for lead teachers is to have the early childhood
Bachelor's
certification?
degree.
Yeah.
And child development certificate.
Child development or early childhood.
Not the certificate, it has to be a degree. Yeah. Yeah, and that, she was asking if there's human development, child development, yeah, that degree will also count, so, yes ma'am.
Is there stipulation on hours, so they come from 8 to 3, or is there a set amount of hours?
Okay, is there a set amount of hours? The hours can be within, yeah.
We just require that it's 7.5 hours for teachers, and the children have to have 6.5 hours.
Yeah, we recommend that they happen sometime between 7 and 3, so,
And
yeah.
they have to be gone at around that time, right?
yeah. Well,
I mean,
they're done with the day. If you do aftercare, then, you know, I keep calling it aftercare. Yes, ma'am.
How many days of the year? Is that for 12
Good.
months? Or
Yeah.
9 months?
The OSR class is established for 187 days of instruction.
Is there a particular day we have to start by?
Yeah.
September 1st.
Yeah. All classes have to start by September 1st.
It's 180 days for children, 187 for
sorry.
teachers.
So, the OSR day is 180 days for children, 187 days for teachers, because we give those 7 days for professional development. Thank you.
Tammy, if I were to ask, what is the real typical price to run a quality classroom? What would that number be?
Yeah. The average cost to run a high quality pre-K site is about $160,000 a year. And that's a little skewed, a little high, because it takes into account that first year with the packet. So about 154, I think, after, if you take out that average. Yeah, and that's also another thing. When we look at budgets in that first one that I showed you in baseline, one of the reasons we harp so much on that, because every single year we have discussions that it's difficult to run a high quality pre-K on the amount of money that we give out. And we hear you, but we also know that we want as many children to be in high quality pre-K as we can get. So we have to kind of weigh all the pros and cons of that. And so if we give, even $1,000 to each of our classrooms, then that's like 5 classrooms that we can't open. So we weigh that very heavily, but we also want to be able to do what we need to do for our providers so that you have everything you need to provide high quality. But all that is to say, when you do your budgets, that is a major piece that we look at, because we want to know how much it truly costs you. Because people think, well, I did the first part that showed how I'm spending their money. That should be all they care about. That's not all we care about. We care about how much you have to spend too. Because if we don't get a true picture of how much you're spending, we don't know how much it costs. So we can't help. So when you're doing your budget, make sure you show everything. If you have somebody that comes in and cleans for you, and he does it because he's a member of your church or he's a member of your family, whatever, put that in kind, because that would be something you would have to pay for. So make sure you're getting everything, so that when we start to pull reports and the legislators are like, well, what are y'all doing with all that money, that we're communicating truly what it costs to run a high quality site. Okay?
And another thing, Tammy mentioned it earlier, when you get your first award of $120,000. The next year is not $120,000. You have to apply for a tiered grant, and that can be from $82,000, well, from $45,000 to $87,000.
It's higher now.
Okay.
Yeah, because we added that 4% and you'll see it on the application that when I give you guys a copy of that. So the highest amount, which typically most of Birmingham meets, because you meet that free and reduced lunch rate at the highest rate. So the highest tiered grant that you could apply for in second year is $100,008. Okay, but like I said, some of that may come back if you can't meet the 18 children requirement. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if, I know you're required to do a lottery. Let's say you have an established center and you have 12 students that have been there since 6 weeks old.
Right. Yeah.
How does that look to you?
Yeah, I know, and she asked if you have an established center and you have children that have been with you since they were babies, and we're telling you all your little 4-year-olds that are coming up that you've had forever, that you've got to put them in a lottery and they may not make it. I know. And we're talking about that in the office, but as of right now, if you take a full grant, then you've got to do a lottery draw. If you have an established classroom and you think that that classroom's doing good, but you still want the support and a little bit of money from us, you can do what we call an excellence grant of up to $45,000. And then all you have to pull randomly is that percentage, which is what, about 4 children? Yeah. So we may be able to help you fill a 4-year-old classroom. And then you'd have the support of a coach and a few extra dollars. So
you could keep your children that you already have?
Yep. Yeah, because you would only have to do the drawing. She asked if you could keep, if you could keep the children. And yes, you can if you do that excellence grant. Then, like I said, all you have to do is a percentage. So it's about 4 children. It balances out, so you just have to randomly draw 4. But the grant amount is only I say only, but still, 45,000 is not a only. So, but that grant amount is 45,000. Yes.
Okay, 2 questions. Since we're talking about budget again, if they wanted to charge tuition for the pre-K classroom, can they do that, and how does that work?
Okay.
And then the second question is, when is the next pre-K conference, and do they have to attend?
Yeah.
And do both teachers have to attend?
Okay. The tuition, regarding tuition is allowed, and it is charged though based on income. So that's in the guidelines, so you can see how the income levels break out, but it goes from $40 up to $300. But the only thing is you can charge it, but if that parent does not pay it, you cannot put the child out of the classroom. So you can talk to the parent, however, but that child does not get expelled because their parent can't pay. So keep that in mind. And then regarding the conference, our conference this year is in October 20th. Yeah, somewhere like it's a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's that 20th, I think, 21st. We will have a pre-con this year. The teachers are required to go. So when your monitor sits down with you at the beginning of the year, they'll actually plan for that for you and help you with substitutes and that kind of stuff. So we'll provide the money within the grant to pay for substitutes for those days. But the professional development that the teachers get at the conference is worth any amount of time out of the classroom. It is phenomenal. It is probably the best in the nation. We have about 3,000 people that attend. We have some speakers, and this year especially, it's going to be really. I'm on the committee that's planning it, so we tried to get Al Roker, but and this is funny. We tried to get Al Roker, and then our committee chair who runs the conference was like, he's not bringing anything with quality, so we don't want him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's going to be in Mobile. Yeah. And I'll say, because I know that people, Birmingham and North, it's hard to get to Mobile. It's a long way. It feels like it's forever from Montgomery, so I know it does from up here too. But it is the only place that can accommodate this many people without you guys having to get in a car to go to lunch or get in a car to go to a hotel. So downtown Mobile is pretty phenomenal. There's restaurants everywhere that you can walk to, and there's hotels that you can walk to. So and if you have to park your car in Mobile, you're glad to be able to walk. So that'll be, yes, Patricia.
I guess I'm speaking for the choir.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so by that being such a phenomenal conference, can I bring other staff who are not in the pre-K classroom, but I'm paying for that out of my own pocket, right?
Yes, okay, who can attend the conference, basically, is the question. And the conference is open to everybody. We had people last year from Nebraska. So, and I think that as it becomes more and more, because like next week we're hosting in our office a contingency from North Dakota who's coming to Alabama to see what we're doing in pre-K, because our reputation is growing. So I think as that happens, it'll get even bigger and bigger, and we may have to, I don't know where we're going to have our conference if we keep growing, but it's a good problem to have. So.
Another thing with the conference is that we recommend that you close your pre-K classrooms for the conference, because it is hard to get substitutes for those days. So public schools, they already put it in on their calendar that they're closed when we have our conferences. So they don't have to worry about getting 100 substitutes.
Yeah.
So it's okay for you to do that.
Yeah, and two, our conference used to be in January, so when people called me in October, November, December, asking about the grant writing process and all of that, I always encourage them, whether they had a pre-K or not, to come to the conference, because one, it'll set you on fire for what you're doing already. It will encourage you, and you will meet tons of people who are going through the exact same thing that you're going through, and you don't have that opportunity very often. So when you're in a humongous room with 3,000 people that do exactly what you do, and they're praised for it, and the importance of it is known in the whole setting, you can't replace that. So if you can go. If you can send your teachers, send your teachers. Whoever you can get there, go. The registration is actually open right now on our website. So it's not really considering what you get and the hours that you get, because we require a certain number of hours of professional development, and you can pretty much get it all at the conference if you go to the conference. There's a pre-con that's available that will have a pretty special guest speaker, so that'll be available. This is our 20th year, so this conference is going to be a good one. So we've been saving for like 3 years for this one. So there may be fireworks, I heard. So don't tell Tara I said that. Any other questions?
I have one.
Sure.
For the benefits package for the teacher, okay, so I have a church insurance package. Or if a teacher comes and say they're already in the teacher's retirement, I don't know nothing about that. Okay, say you're in that system. Can they choose that system over my system?
They'll have that system no matter what.
Okay, so they're not in the church system.
I mean, that's up to y'all. But there's no need.
Well, I have to offer insurance. Okay, because that's all.
Yeah, and if you have a
That's our
retired teacher that's not on Medicaid, they will love the fact that you will offer them insurance, because a retired teacher insurance is it's insane. It's a lot.
Okay, so it's just that depends. So if they're a retired teacher, they would go on my church insurance policy.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's not a requirement for us, so it's pretty much whatever you guys decide to do.
It's a requirement for the
Yeah,
church. So
yeah.
And then but if they are not a retired teacher, they participate in the teaching.
They can, if that's, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, wait, I need clarification. real quick.
Okay.
If they receive this grant and they're a private center, the state doesn't provide them insurance,
No.
so she would have to provide insurance through.
Right. And if it's a retired teacher that's getting
Even
T,
non-retired.
yeah, no,
State won't provide insurance.
no.
I'm not asking the
Yeah.
state to provide it.
Yeah.
I'm asking which system they need to be into.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, they're not going to come out of TRS. Yeah. Yeah, if they've retired from a school system, they're not going to come out of TRS. Because it would be silly. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what if you have a teacher that receives Social Security because they're retired at 65, they receive Social Security and TRS, how does that work? No-go?
Yeah. So how does, it'd be hard. But she asked what's the pay structure going to look like if you have a teacher who receives Social Security and TRS, which is teacher's retirement? We probably have to look into that because I know that there's an income limit for her Social Security.
Okay.
And yeah, so that would be one of those situations that we would have to look at it and work with you. So, okay, but we would.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Requirement to provide insurance?
It is not. It is, she asked if it was a requirement to provide insurance. For our program, it is not. It makes you competitive, so we encourage it, but it is not, because we know that our grants are not going to pay for everything, so we're trying not to kill you guys too much. But yeah, it's not a requirement for us. Anybody else? Okay. And we'll be here for a little bit if you have something that you want to ask, but you don't want to ask it on camera or you don't want to ask it in front of everybody. And I will share with you guys a copy of the grant if you want it. And Catrice, thank you so much for putting this together. It helps us a ton. And we appreciate you guys coming, because the more educated you are, the better you are at what you do. So we appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.